Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Kita bersama lagi dalam rancangan Bicara Sukan dan kali ini kita berada di tepi pantai Klub Panaga Seria, Kolam Light. Dan mungkin bisa kita bertanya kenapa di sini. Jadi kita akan membawakan satu topik yang menarik ya. Setiap minggu akan menarik dan ini lebih menarik lagi. Kita akan bincangkan mengenai dengan bowling padang. Ya, bowling padang Klub Panaga. Itulah yang kita bincangkan dan untuk membincangkan perkara ini kita telah pun mengundang Mr. Damon Brady, ya, Presiden Klub Bowling Padang Panaga, dan beliau juga merupakan expatriate yang berasal daripada Australia. Ya. Dan juga kita bersama Mr. Neil Lynch, Setiausaha Agong Klub Bowling Panaga, dan beliau merupakan expatriate yang berasal daripada Ireland untuk bincangkan pada kali ini. Jadi first of all, Damien, I think we would like to know in brief about Panaga lawn bowls. Yeah.
Well, what we've been excited to learn a lot about recently is that I think bowling's been happening here since the 1970s, maybe even earlier.
Yeah.
Competitions where the local people have come along and played the expats who probably played a little bit outside of Brunei before in their own home countries. They've come here and they've passed on a lot of skills, and what's happened since then is now the Bruneians are passing on so many skills to us and so much enjoyment to us in competitions. So it's had a long, long history. I think it's probably one of the most successful sports here. I don't think there's been another, on an international stage or a domestic stage, another sporting competition at the Panaga Club, which has such a really vibrant sort of national sort of competition and sort of international sort of scene, and that's because mainly the great competitors that come here from the Commonwealth Games team and the other players from Bandar that come down. So we're very proud to enjoy it ourselves as the expatriates and the members of the Panaga Club, but what makes it really special is the excitement we have when we have our visitors from Bandar to come and play, and internationally as well.
Yeah, I'm coming to you. Okay, I'm coming back to you. Okay, Neil, how long have you been playing lawn bowls?
Well, personally, about 10 years now. So when I first came, I've played bowls a little bit in the past, but when I came here to Panaga, I noticed this green, which I thought was exceptional, right beside the sea, in such a beautiful location. And I hunted down the people who were running this at the time, and a lot of those members were about to leave. And so I managed to talk to them, we took over from them, and myself and Damien have managed to nurture the bowling green and the competitions and the sport back to life again. And now it's really going from strength to strength.
Yeah. Damien?
That's right. Like, part of the history that we've been reading about as well lately is that it's gone through some turbulent sort of times where it took a lot to upkeep this green, and naturally where we're positioned, it would take a lot. There's a lot of sand that comes on here, a lot of crabs crawl across, ants like to have their home here. So the maintenance crew do a fantastic job of really getting it to this sort of national standard. So, you know, as I said, reading through the past, sometimes it was thriving, sometimes it wouldn't have too many members, other times it had league matches 4 or 5 times a week. So it was it's fantastic, the history, and it's great to be a part of that history. And together with Neil, we've really tried our best to sort of upkeep the wealth really of this place of competition and fun that we have here.
Yeah. I think everybody know that lawn bowl is your most favorite sport in Australia. So have you tried to play lawn bowls in your country?
Well, that's the thing. It's probably one of the most fun Friday night things to do with friends at home. You know, you take your shoes off, you have a barefoot bowl. My birthday party, which I was very lucky to have Neil come along to, we had a nice barefoot bowl there. Driving home from the coast back up to Brisbane, we said, why don't we stop off and check out another lawn bowls facility? That was so much fun as well. So I think it's not only a great sport for Australians competing in, I think it's a fantastic recreational activity for any age, any gender, any ability.
So Neil, how was lawn bowls in Ireland?
Okay, so maybe a tale of two cities. In Ireland, as we know through history, for many reasons, it's been split in half, so Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland. I have a foot in both sides. I was born in the north, but my family from the south and the north. And in the north, there's a very thriving bowl scene, outdoor, on grass. And most towns would have a bowling green, and it's a really good competition, and both communities take part. In the south, it's in a developmental stage, but it is growing. And I hope after the COVID regulations, everything was closed down. I saw a lot of messages on social media how people really can't wait to get back out there. It's springtime again, and I'm really hoping that bowls will just take off and people can get out and enjoy themselves, get some fresh air and get some exercise.
Yeah. So, Damien, what do you know about the history of the greens and the surrounding?
Yeah, so in Sarawak, did you say, or here or throughout Borneo?
Yeah.
Everywhere. So basically, I do know that there's some great facilities up in Sabah, down in Sarawak. I think there's something in Kuching. Here, we're the only grass green on the whole island of Borneo. So it's a fantastic opportunity again for the players up in Bandar who play on that synthetic surface to come down here and enjoy this incredible facility we have. We have, as I said, grass. You know, what a surface to play on.
Yeah.
What a wonderful backdrop as well. It's great to play on synthetic, but I think grass is the more sort of pure sort of game, the one that we enjoy the most.
Sure, and it's a real national asset for the country of Brunei to have their own lawn bowls green, and other countries you may go to Thailand, they may have one or two, other countries one or two, and it's something that's so important, I think, for the country of Brunei to have that as well. Because your competitions internationally, a lot of grass competitions, you just can't really get that practice on a synthetic green if you're playing on grass.
Yeah, maybe one of the tourism strategies, maybe?
Exactly,
I think so,
for
definitely.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so where internationally have you competed in friendlies or and competed in the representing the Panaga lawn bowl?
Well, I've been very lucky to play in Bangkok at the polo club there. They had a Bangkok Open Triples tournament, and so I played there wearing the lovely Panaga Guernsey, and we did quite well, which was really good. Neil and I have also had fun competing there as well with Chai Thai and other international bowlers from Thailand. I've gone also down to Pattaya as well and played there. They've got 4 different styles of surface down there, some with quite thick carpet, some with beautiful grass as well, and some incredibly well made synthetic rinks too. So yeah, it's been a wonderful experience there. I've got a friend, Craig Brogan, over in Saigon as well, and he is really keen into lawn bowls. He's got a community of about 12 to 15 people that regularly bowl now on a Monday night. They're playing on currently a football pitch surface, but again, they're desperate to have their own grass green. So I wish Craig the best with getting that one day. So Australia, Saigon, Bangkok, Pattaya, and as I say, I think any holiday in the future, once COVID's finishes, I think, and hopefully Neil can join me, we'll go down to their green and have a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long have you play? Yeah. And who comes along rather than you both?
So, well, at the beginning, there was the guys who used to be from the Shell Aviation Service were running this section, and we took over from those guys, and so slowly we've built it up. Now, we're building it up and building it up recently. We're getting new members, it feels like every week. And there's, well, and I guess, so we keep mentioning COVID, but when in times of, well, when people don't really have a lot to do, they can't really get out, they're limited, they've suddenly realized, wow, we've got this just sitting on a doorstep. So it is growing. And so we have a group of guys come down, ladies on a Thursday, and then we have Friday night team practice, and then we have maybe under the floodlights at night, maybe on a Wednesday, depending on the weather.
So how can someone join the lawn bowls community?
Well, I think they have to be a Panaga Club member to start with, and there's a very small charge after that for a monthly specific membership of lawn bowls. But through competition, we're lucky that anyone, if they're competing with us, it's free for them to come. So we're really trying to nurture this competition aspect here, again through the encouragement of our friends in Bandar who come down to play. So through competition, great way for them to come along. We can get outsiders who are not lawn bowls members as well to compete, and if they like it, hopefully they can join up to our section as well.
You mean anybody can join?
Well, anyone currently who's a member of Panaga Club. However, I know that we're going through a time of change here with the club. So it's something that we are up for, we would like to discuss, that possibly we could ask them if ideally we could have local bowlers from the local Bruneian community perhaps could come along. That's something we're really hoping that we can negotiate, but again, club rules, not something we can guarantee.
Yeah. So at the moment, the great sort of yardstick, or the great piece to that, is to have competition. I think as many competitions as possible.
I think this is an interesting question. Yeah, I know you're young, still young. Lawn bowl. There's a perception say that lawn bowl is all men games. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that's an accusation that could be easily levelled at indoor bowling. So I'd say for outdoor bowling, well, as Damien said earlier, with the barefoot bowling in Australia, it really is a young person's sport. You can combine sport and socialise at the same time. The indoor bowling in the UK, well, I've watched a lot on TV, and yeah, I can see how that could happen. Now, when I watch it myself, I think there's a few things you guys could tweak here to make this a bit more exciting. I mean, the quality is fantastic, but there's, they do need to change slightly, find different sponsors, make it a bit more appealing to the youth.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I agree. I think you can't just be sponsored by funeral homes, for example. I think maybe that might be another way to get a more of an active sort of base for the indoor bowlers. But you say we're young. I don't think we are. When you look at the Australian team or the UK team, or you look at the fantastic players that are representing Brunei now as well, coming up. A lot of them in their 20s. I think there's even competitions in Australia for under 12s bowlers, and I wouldn't like to face some of them because they're fantastic. They are really good. So, as I said before, it certainly is a game for all ages, all abilities, all genders, and hopefully for us, we've caught it at the right time, and we can keep on playing for another 30 or 40 years ourselves.
Yeah. So lawn bowl is not all men games.
No, not at all.
No, the beauty of it is, for anyone from the age of 8 to 80 can rock up and play.
Yeah.
And you say man as well. Well, I had the privilege of going up to see the competition up in Bandar recently, and it was the female team that took out the gold in a fantastic performance. So, it's certainly not a man or an old person's sport by any means.
Baik, kita akan berehat seketika untuk mengetahui pandangan orang ramai mengenai dengan Klub Bowling Padang Panaga.
Green yang terdapat di Klub Panaga, saya rasa antara yang terunik di sebelah rantau sini. Ia masih lagi menggunakan rumput, dan saya rasa ini amat perlu bagi pemain-pemain lawn ball kita ni yang ada di Brunei. Saya dipahamkan juga ada beberapa green di negara-negara Commonwealth yang masih menggunakan rumput. Jadi saya rasa apabila nanti ada peluang kita untuk bertarung di negara-negara yang mempunyai padang rumput, kita sudah tersedia ada padang rumput di Panaga. Ini merupakan satu aset untuk pemain-pemain kita ni. Saya rasa amat berguna untuk dikekalkanlah padang rumput di Panaga itu. Sedangkan yang ada pada kita tani pada waktu ini ialah cuma artificial padang. Jadi petani boleh berlatih dalam beberapa keadaan yang berbeza. Jadi apabila petani diperlukan untuk bertanding di luar negeri di padang rumput, jadi kita akan dapat menggunakan padang di Panaga. Itulah yang saya rasa.
Okay, well, as for me, Padang Panaga ni padang yang bagus sebab Padang Panaga ni adalah satu-satunya padang yang rumput yang kalau sekiranya ada tournament di luar negeri yang menggunakan padang rumput atau padang yang berat lah, boleh tani gunakan Padang Panaga ni untuk berlatih, untuk training apa. Dan padang rumput dan padang sintetik adalah dua padang yang berbeza. So basically padang Panaga ni boleh digunakan untuk training jika ada turnamen di luar negeri yang menggunakan padang yang berat.
Terima kasihlah kepada klub Panaga yang selama ini selalu mengadakan permainan bowling padang di padang Panaga. Saya berharap pada jabatan kalau boleh diadakan tempat macam main outdoor punya padang rumput macam yang di Panaga.
Mengenai dengan padang bowling padang yang ada di Brunei ini, di bandar ada satu dan juga satu lagi ada di Panaga. Di bandar padangnya sintetik, yang di Panaga adalah padang rumput. Dengan mengetahui adanya padang lain yang ada di Brunei ini, yaitu padang rumput di Panaga, kami juga dapat merasai bagaimana rasanya bermain di padang rumput. Ia ada perbezaan. Kalau padang di bandar itu kami main dengan macam biasa kerana lama sudah berlatih di sana, tapi dengan adanya padang di Panaga, kami dapat juga merasai dengan bermain di Panaga itu adalah berbeza dengan di bandar. Dan dari sanalah kami dapat menyesuaikan diri untuk berlatih bagaimana cara untuk meningkatkan lagi kami punya potensial yang ada untuk memainkan bowling padang di Brunei Darussalam ini.
Padang bowling padang di Seria ni ianya sangat bagus kerana ia punya padang jenis rumput. Jadi di negara Brunei terdapat satu saja padang jenis rumput. Ianya boleh membagi advantage kita ni jika sekiranya ada perlawanan di luar yang menggunakan padang rumput. Jadi advantage untuk kita ni dapat training di sini menggunakan padang ni dengan sebaiknya. Ianya sangat berlainan padang rumput dengan sintetik, lain lah ia punya jenis cara mainnya.
Itulah sedikit pendapat orang ramai mengenai dengan klub bowling padang Panaga. Jadi kita teruskan perbincangan kita bersama dengan Damian dan juga Neil. Ya. Jadi what have been some challenges faced by the Panaga Lawn Bowls Club?
Oh, I'd say, well, one of the biggest challenges having a grass surface is the weather. I can never personally predict the weather here in Brunei from one year to the next. So I remember a few years back, one January, it rained every day. The following January, it didn't rain a single day. So the surface needs constant maintenance, and we've got to really say thanks to the great team at the Gulf who've been doing a wonderful job looking after this through monsoons, through floods, through droughts. They keep this surface looking fantastic. So that's the main challenge is keeping this surface just right, because it really is a tough job.
They do a fantastic job. You have a look around and it's very flat. The bowls run through very evenly all throughout. We are just incredibly grateful to the Panaga Club and that golf section for lending a hand with that. It's just made those competitions and friendlies so much more enjoyable.
Yeah. So what do you think about the future of the Panaga Lawn Bowling Clubs?
It's got a fantastic past, and let's think about that again. It's been through so much change. It's been through so much different sort of members that have come along, different keenness for the sport. It's been high, as I said, reached the heights of having league matches 3, 4, 5 times a week. People coming over from Thailand, from Singapore, from Hong Kong competing. That's the future we want again. We want people, post-COVID especially, to come here to see this as an international surface. What an opportunity to play on grass in Borneo. That's what we would love for the future here, to get people to come over. Let's have these international competitions, these great events that I've been so lucky to attend in Bangkok, for example, and have that partnership, that brotherhood and sisterhood of players who play on grass in Manila, they play on grass throughout China. There's grass surfaces in Calcutta as well. I've talked to those people. They're so keen to come over here when COVID is over, to know that they can travel to Borneo, see the beauty of Brunei, and whilst they're here, play on a grass surface. Yeah. So I think that's the future. That's what I'd love to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think you're the experienced lawn bowlers. So, anything to say for the young lawn bowlers?
I would say just don't be afraid to have a go. That's the beauty of it. We regularly have new people. They turn up here and they say, "Oh, what do we do? How do I do this?" And within 20 minutes, they're cracking, they're striking the jack. And the feeling of confidence and happiness. It's got such a low entry point to achieving a satisfying standard. And then from then on, pushing from then on is incredible. It's very few sports are like that, and that's what I think will keep this sport going through thick and thin.
Maybe some young person, young lawn bowlers want to learn about lawn bowls. Have you anything to say?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing to sort of think of is that it's a sport they could potentially play for 80 years, hopefully. It's a sport that they can, get better within themselves with and just keep on enjoying. The longer you play, the more you enjoy it, for sure. But as I say again, the national teams, a lot of them contain teenagers, people in their 20s. So it's certainly not an old man's sport whatsoever. It's exciting. It's a very good youth sport, and again, it's great for all abilities.
Yeah, maybe it's time for the Brunei national team to produce a goal. Yeah, I think it's the time.
Yeah, there's no reason why not.
Yeah.
And but I don't think they'll get a goal perhaps on grass without practicing first on a grass surface.
Yeah, that's a good tips ya. Kita belajar terlebih dahulu bermain lawn ball di atas rumput atau grass, barulah kita dapat membiasakan bermain di padang yang biasa ya. Ya. Jadi last words I think, what's your hope for the Panaga Lawn Ball Club?
I hope we have our friends from Bandar come down as much as possible. I hope we have many more competitions. I recently was handed a guide to the new Super League that's going to be commencing soon. So I'm really looking forward to finding out more information about that and having games here with the Super League. I just look forward to people having fun here.
Yeah. Neil, last word?
Yeah, I'd say that lawn bowls is the one sport here which in the past has tied together the Brunei Garrison, the Shell Aviation Services, the BSP, and of course the Bruneian lawn bowlers. And this is exactly what we want to do. We want to pull the country together and through shared sport, and there's no better place than here.
Ya. Itu tadi kita sudah berada di penghujung rancangan. Apa yang kita harapkan rancangan ini akan memberikan faedah pada semua, dan apa yang kita harapkan agar klub ini we hope this club will produce the youngsters to produce to make Brunei national team lawn bowlers in the future. We hope.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
our hope as well.
Ya, jadi kita bicara sekarang agar klub bowling Padang Panaga ini akan dapat mencapai apa yang dikehendaki dan akan melahirkan pemain-pemain lawn ball bukan saja di kalangan mereka yang berumur, bahkan apa yang kata tadi young bowlers ya akan dapat dilahirkan untuk memberikan sesuatu sumbangan kepada negara kita dalam bidang sukan ya. Jadi sekian saya dulu kita bersama dalam rancangan bicara sukan untuk kali ini. Kita akan bersama lagi dengan kesempatan dengan tajuk dan tadbir yang lain pula ya. Akhir kata, Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera, majulah sukan untuk negara. Jumpa lagi.
So this is a lawn bowl. Let's just check your hand to see if it fits in there nicely. Perfect, yeah, I think that's a good size for you. Okay. You'll see on the bowl, there's a big circle here and a small circle here.
Okay.
Okay. The bowl has a bias, so it will turn towards the small circle. So if you are going to roll it with your right hand on this side, make sure that the small dot is facing the lawn bowl, not outside there to the fence, okay? Let's just have a look. Perfect, yep, okay. So that's what's called a forehand bowl, okay? And to do the bowl, I'll just grab one as well. I won't bowl one.
Okay.
Stand on the mat, okay? Making sure, always checking to see that the bias is facing inwards.
Okay.
All right, and you step forward, get down as low as you can go, and then you release. Okay, try and get down even to the ground, but try not to bump it on the way through.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if it bounces a little bit, okay? and then you'll see it turning in towards the jack.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, 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 okay. Can try?
Yep, have a go, please.
Okay.